How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the normal FireStorm Podcast, not the FireStorm Let's Play. We're actually doing a podcast episode this week, and we are back with a classic anime review.
Yes, sir.
We said we were going to do this, and we got around to it eventually.
I coughed. That's all.
Yeah, you're dying.
Oh no, I'm good.
Alright, so, made by Jun Maeda and p.a.works. What came after Charlotte, after we did that review, is The Day I Became a God. And, yeah, there we go. We watched it, we're now going to review it, and it was quite an interesting story. Very familiar to Charlotte.
Yeah, very, very similar. So I don't have anything pulled up, but I'm going to try to run through it, basically run through a quick summary, because, I mean, hopefully if you're watching this, you've already seen the show. Hopefully.
Yeah.
We are going to spoil things.
Without a doubt.
We're going to spoil the fuck out of things, so, like, this is your last spoiler warning. If you haven't seen the show, go fucking watch it, because we're about to spoil everything.
The Wikipedia summary is just, while preparing for the upcoming graduation exams in the final year of high school, Yota Nakamori meets a mysterious young girl named Hina Sato who claims she is the goddess named Odin. She tells Yota that the end of the world will be coming in 30 days, but he remains skeptical despite her making numerous correct predictions. The story revolves around Hina assisting Yota as he helps people around town while she adjusts to her new life. As he spends more time with her, he begins to uncover more secrets about her life and how she became a god.
Yeah, so basically, it starts off first, 7 or 8 episodes-ish? 7, I think. 7 episodes-ish. It starts off this really cutesy kind of slice of life thing where there's not much, like, genuine continuity. There's just episode by episode they take on, like, different tasks. That's Yota and Hina, that is, and sometimes there are extra people like oh my god, don't tell me her name. What's the girl's name? I forget her name. Oh my god. Izanami, the one-sided crush, the one ramen noodle shop girl, his little sister Sora, Yota's little sister Sora. There's this one famous chick who tags along for some reason.
Tengen, and
then I don't know his best friend. His best friend's Epic. I forget his name though.
He is Epic. I don't know if they do they call him Ashura or
Ashura. Yeah, that's right.
Ashura. That's how they refer to him. Yep.
So the characters are actually pretty solid. But then from episodes, I don't know what episode starts in, but they start teasing something a little deeper from pretty early on. There's this other guy who's like fucking a genius with computers or some shit and has holograms he pulls up, and he starts looking into this mysterious scientist guy who we don't know until about episode 7. The end of episode 7 actually worked on something that heavily involves Hina. And so here's final spoiler warning, because I'm about to just fucking ruin everything if you haven't seen the show. Basically, we learn that there is some kind of chip or device or something in Hina's brain, because she has a disability, a mental disability of some kind. I don't remember the exact name of it.
It's called a Logo syndrome. It's essentially
Logo syndrome.
As you get older, your body starts to deteriorate further, something like that.
Yeah, so there's no known cure for it, and essentially what this device was able to do somehow was turn Hina from a young girl with a genuine mental disability into a fully functioning human child.
It wasn't even a mental disability; it was literally a disease.
Yeah,
it was able to. As far as I remember, the little microchip was actually like a supercomputer as well, like a quantum supercomputer. That's why she was able to be like connected to the world essentially in some manner. And when she was able to make correct predictions about stuff.
Yeah.
So, it was something that her grandfather developed and I think gave to her because of her sickness. Mm-hmm. And then, that whole plot that was tricky. That was very interesting.
It was.
You're right. The first, half the season and a bit it was very reminiscent of Charlotte, where they were just like, okay, this is a situation, let's go do some fun, cutesy shit, and be funny for a while. And like it was up until then. I was up until the whole bit where they went to go see Hina's father happened. I was just thinking, this is so familiar to Charlotte, but it was not a bad thing actually. The first episode kind of flopped in my head. The introduction was a bit lame, but then the comedy adjusted for me, and I was able to get into it.
Yeah,
and I was just like, you know what? Yeah, okay, I see it. And then, when did the emo guy? I never learned his name. When did the emo guy get introduced? There was just one random scene of him fucking hacking into shit and finding a child.
Yeah, I don't know when it was. I want to say it was like episode 3 or 4 when he first got introduced. It was early.
Yeah, see, okay, yeah, it was 3. See, I wrote down the note, but it's just like, I just wrote, okay, a random edgelord, because I was just like, who's this guy? Why is he important? And then he's just like, oh, he can hack shit, look at that, whoa, edgy. And I was just, because of the white hair, and I was just like, fucking hell. But this, he's gonna become, I literally said to myself, he's not gonna become important to the end. And that's exactly what happened. So, yeah, that was random. But, yeah, no, so the gang, essentially, like, Hina was kind of just like, alright, I'm here now, I like you, you're epic, let's go do stuff for 30 days while the world's coming to an end. And for some reason, I keep forgetting the names and I have to go back to Wikipedia.
Yota?
Yota, fuck. Yota, he's really confused and he keeps saying, like, oh, well, alright, you want to come live with us? My parents will say no. And then they say yes, and he's just like, excuse me, what the fuck? And then a lot of the predictions that Hina makes about, like, horse races and about the weather and omniscience, is that what she calls it? Omniscience?
Omniscience, yeah.
Yeah, is able to predict a lot of these things, and including ways to, say, beat a Mahjong tournament, like win a Mahjong tournament through complete bullfuckery, and help some ramen lady shop owner get her business back up with MSG. Yeah.
Yep. With the secret to everything.
MSG. And yeah, and then it's like dropped near the end after they, I think just after or just before they meet Hina's father, because she actually has parents. Whoa. When it's dropped by Yota's parents that they worked with her grandfather, and they set up a plan for for Hina's fucking, I keep getting the names mixed up. I just woke up. They set up a plan for Yota's parents to take in Hina when he was, like, sick or something, or when he wasn't able to take care of her anymore. And yeah, so that kind of was the setup of the plan, and it worked out. But then emo edgelord guy, I'm gonna actually find his name here.
I don't remember it either.
Hiroto Suzuki. I'll call him Suzuki because, like, the car. Yeah, Suzuki fucking discovers the supercomputer chip that his company or whoever he's working for is looking for, and it's in her brain, so they have to go kidnap her. And that's when I thought, okay, this show is going to turn into, like, a rescue mission. And it did kind of, but not in the way I thought. Because this evil group, you thought, oh, they're evil, this emo guy is working for them. They succeeded. They got her, and they got the chip out of her brain. And then nothing else came of that side story. It just went straight to, where the fuck is Hina? And then there was a time lapse. So,
yeah,
that was a bit odd. But anyway, I'll stop rambling for a moment. So, what did you think about the show coming into it? Like, what did the impression give you the first few episodes?
mean, from the first few episodes, I like you said, it looked a lot like Charlotte. I was actually really digging the cutesy vibe, like the really just innocent slice of life stuff it had going on for the first half or so. I did like what's his face, Suzuki. He's probably my favorite character in the show. Like, he's actually really interesting. Because he had like this backstory with his parents who abused him because of his ability or whatever, and then he turned evil and shit. It was great.
When he was just introduced, I didn't care because it was in the middle of all the cutesy shit. But then when he got into the trash dump and was able to recover like a book and a photo of Hina and Hina's grandfather, that's when I was just like, oh fuck. Oh, all right, let's go. And I got really interested. Then I became invested. Because up until then, it was just random, who knows what he's doing.
Yeah, well, that was the point. You're supposed to, like, piece it all together once, like, at a later moment in time. That was the whole point of those, like, little segments at the end, I think, is just to, like, whoa, what is this guy doing? Like, you're supposed to, like, it's supposed to pique your interest or, like, intrigue you, I guess, and then you're, like, figure it out later. I really like that style of storytelling, actually, where it, like, kind of gives you these characters you don't really know much about, but they actually have a vital role in the story that you only find out what it is later on. I think that's really cool, and there's a lot of, like, potential, and it builds up the suspense and the tension and mystery in the show really well. Like, if that guy, like, if those segments hadn't been in, I probably wouldn't have been as interested. Like, it would have been fine. Like, the first few episodes, they would have been fine, but if, like, that mystery, if there wasn't that element of mystery to it, I probably, like, would have just not been as interested as I was, or whatever. But, like, I was going to say, the first few episodes with the slice of life stuff, I mean, the intro was fine, like the first 2 episodes or whatever, but once it got going and all the characters started interacting, I actually really liked it. That was definitely my favorite part of the show, is how all the characters interacted and talked to each other. It was very well written from start to finish, pretty much, the dialogue was, and I really like just how smoothly it all flows together. The dialogue, it's all the characters feel like they don't feel out of place or anything, except for maybe that one chick, like the famous girl or whatever fucking name is. She's kind of weird, out of place. But other than that, everyone was cool, and that's, like I said, that's my favorite part of the show, I think. And I will say my favorite episode probably of the show is I think it's episode 5, the one where they help Izanami make amends with her dad. I think that's a really, really good episode and very sad. Like, one of the few, like, one of the emotional high points of the show, and that was probably when I, like, cared the most, aside from, like, around the very end. I think that was probably, like, the point I cared the most about all these characters. I really liked Izanami, like, her growth throughout the show and stuff, even though, it wasn't a lot because she wasn't a huge focus. But, like, you can tell there's a very obvious difference between before episode 5 and after episode 5 in her dialogue and how she treats everyone around her. It's very solid. That's probably my favorite episode. I can't remember where I saw something like that. Violet Evergarden. That's it. There was an episode like that in Violet Evergarden, which is an amazing show. But it's
still need to watch it.
Yeah, it's very good. There's an episode like this one in Violet Evergarden. It reminded me of that, and because of the video messages from Izanami's mom, it was fucking crazy. Like, I almost teared up a little bit. Like, I did want to cry, but yeah, I mean, we'll talk about the ending later. But other than that, like, a lot of the stuff was just fun. Like, even the Mahjong tournament or the fucking ramen shit, like, the tomfoolery that went on to make all this shit happen. It made no sense, but it was kind of funny, especially, like, when in the gaming tournament, when he was just making all these bullshit moves. I don't know the rules of that game, but, like, everyone was looking at him like he was fucking crazy when he was making these moves, and like, this move makes no sense. I love it.
That's the thing, though. That's the thing that gets me about... The one thing about this show, at least in particular, because of, like, they use... Because it feels more modern, and it feels like it can actually relate more to a modern day audience now because of like the use of RPGs, the video games that they were playing, like mobile phones and like chips in the fucking brain. Even like a lot of this actually sounds like modern day technology, and it was actually very relatable. And even with Mahjong, it's pretty infamous that no foreigner knows what the fuck the rules are to the game. So they literally use that as a plot point of, we know you're not going to get this game, but you will get to watch this guy fuck around and bullshit his way to victory. And it was very purposed with that, and I appreciated that.
Yeah, it was good. I did like it.
I 100% agree with you, by the way, that episode 5 with Izanami's dad, and in my opinion, I think it was episode 12 at the very end, were two very emotional and very invested moments. I loved everything with Izanami and her dad being able to rekindle and watch that video of her mum. That was so, like, sad but heartwarming.
Yeah.
I appreciated that so much. But my favorite episode was just after that, with episode 6, when the whole gang went to the festival. That was my favorite moment, because just finally seeing the whole gang together, interacting, and even though they hadn't got up to, like, recording the movie yet, I don't think.
No.
So they were all kind of just interacting for the first time, and Tengen was a bit of a bitch, and, like, everything was just kind of new to them. All the interactions were fun. Even the brief plot point of Hina getting trapped in a fucking ice truck, and then Ashira and Yota having to be badasses on the back of a motorbike, like, reminding each other of their basketball dreams and shit like that. Like, that...
Yeah, that was a really good episode.
It was just all so fucking good. And, like, I get that... See, with Charlotte... It felt like that the first few episodes of their adventures, like finding other people with powers and all that, the only thing that really came from that is that they found that one chick with dual personalities. Yeah. And then she joined the group. Meanwhile, with The Day I Became a God, every episode was to set up a new character that would join their overall group. Like, what was it? Episode 2... Well, I'm having a look at my notes. No, episode 2 was just kind of the, Hina's here now, and parents are really fucking weird about it. They're okay. Because even, you said they set it up early on, and there was, like, one scene when Hina was asleep, and the parents were just like, okay, it's happening. And it's just like, what? Fuck you on about, assholes. Yeah, so... Episode 3 was the, like, ramen lady. Episode 4 was Mahjong.
She's a cutie.
Oh my god, that was adorable. See, the other thing I like about this is that a lot of their comedy was obvious, like whenever, overreacts to something and the rock music starts playing, like, that was funny. But then there was random, like, shit sprinkled in between. Like, the one thing I wrote down that made me laugh the most in episode 3 was that interview with Yota when he's pretending to be like a businessman for ramen.
Yeah.
And he says, I've been wearing the same suit for 10 years. I don't know why. I just fucking cracked it and lost it when he said that. I was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's like kind of like the comedy in those early episodes it's kind of hits you out of nowhere. Just like random throwaway lines are just really funny. And that's like the attention to detail, I think, that it comes down to. And like, because when you're dealing with slice of life and you don't have anything to, like, any sort of, fantastical elements to really save, like, any, like, the lazy plot or whatever, you have to pay, like, attention to detail is huge. And because really the whole show is just character interactions. That's all it is. So, like, the way they incorporate just random throwaway lines that are funny, it's like they didn't have to do that, but the attention to detail there is, like, kind of makes the show infinitely better. Like, like, because otherwise it's just not fun. Like, you have no reason to pay attention to every line, but if you blink, you'll miss some. But in this one, like, if you blink, you'll miss a funny throwaway line that probably would have cracked you up. So this really solid attention to detail. And on the slice of life topic, I actually think that compared to this guy's last two works, Angel Beats and Charlotte, this one being much more grounded and its slice of life focused was to its benefit. I think having those fantastical elements in the other two were kind of they kind of took away from like the big twist, the huge twist that always comes with those shows. With these,
they were kind of like a hindrance in the end.
Yeah, they kind of like, if there's going to be like this huge twist, like there can't be a bunch of other shit going on with like all these different fantastical elements of the show. Like there's too much going on, it feels like sometimes. But this one didn't have a lot going on at one time. It was very manageable, and it definitely felt like the whole slice of life thing was to its huge benefit. Like, this one is, I think, easily the strongest out of those three shows, for sure.
I'm inclined to agree. Like, I, in my opinion, thought Charlotte was a whole heap funnier. I thought there was a lot more solid comedy in there.
Yeah, there is.
That really got to me. I feel like, and the thing that honestly surprised me is that you're right. The Day I Became a God was so much more grounded than Charlotte and Angel Beats. Charlotte was really, really good, but there were like really obvious, like, kind of fucked moments, like when his sister dies. Oh yeah, spoilers for Charlotte. Fuck it. Like when his sister dies, and then he gets all, oh, shut the fuck up, phone. I thought I had you on silent. When his sister, when his sister dies, and then he goes emo, and then like everything about Nowell's brother happens, and you're kind of just like, wow, this is serious. Now, with The Day I Became a God, I was expecting something like that. I was expecting an abusive parent or some fucked tragic backstory, and Hina's backstory, it was tragic, but it wasn't, in my opinion, it wasn't to the extent of everything else, of like the fucked shit in Charlotte, because it was weird. It was like, okay, how about we just fucking say her parents had a reasonable reason to leave? And yes, it's bad leaving their child, but they expected their child was going to die, and they didn't want to go through that heartache because there was no cure. And when they approached Hina's father about it, he didn't yell, he didn't get angry, he was calm, and he spoke in a reasonable tone, which I expected him to get angry and be like, how dare you bring her back? And he even said, I should be angry right now, but I'm not. And it was just like, this is so much more grounded down that I was chill with it. And I was just like, okay, people are being, like, people are being logical. People are not overreacting to stuff. Like, Yoda overreacted a lot in the end. He was being such a cunt in the end. But,
so glad you agree with me on that. My God.
Oh, yeah, no, in the hospital, yeah, no.
He was such a cunt.
When you said the hospital, and then when it got to that point, and he was doing what he was doing, we'll get to that in a bit, I was just like, oh my God, you're being a cunt.
Oh my God, shut the fuck up.
I know.
It's infuriating.
And, it was. But, yeah, but then Emo Kid's backstory was hella sad because his parent, then there was an abusive parent. Haha, there it is. So,
hey.
like, knew that was gonna fucking happen. But, yeah, so, yeah, there you go. I reckon, I was honestly surprised with how grounded it was, and I was happy with that, because it felt, like, even though, yeah, there was this whole supercomputer chip thing in her head, and she's got an incurable disease, it did feel much more grounded in reality. Even her powers weren't that completely absurd. No. They were just, like... And I was pleasantly surprised and happy with it. And the ending as well... The ending, again, was very similar to Charlotte, because...
Yeah.
here's some sick person in a wheelchair. Let's all hang out, friends. And there you go. But I preferred the ending to this show.
I did as well.
Even though Yoda's still a bit weird now, because he confessed his love to what is essentially a child now.
Yeah.
Bit odd, but yeah, whatever. Okay. Bruh.
Yeah,
I'm conflicted about that.
I'll take over a bit. We'll go over the end real quick. So basically,
we've been over the whole like, oh, funny, friendly slice of life. Let's go into the twist. Let's go into the twist.
Here we go. So the start, we basically learn, I think it's the end of episode 7, the end of the filming episode, that basically that supercomputer they've been looking for is inside of Hina's head. She gets captured and taken away after in episode 9, I believe, when Suzuki, like, I think it does something to, like, maybe gives the company the supercomputer's location or something like that. So they take it out of her head and she gets put back into the hospital, in some like expensive ass, fancy ass hospital, to be taken care of as someone with that disease or with that disability. So there's like a time lapse, like I think half a school year goes by or something like that. Yoda is feeling lost and upset because Hina's gone. He couldn't prevent Hina from getting taken away. So eventually there's this new kid, Suzuki, but we know the guy, of course, as outsiders. We people looking on, we know the kid, and he's purposefully taking Yota and his friend group, that's Ashura and Izanami as well, to recreate all the experiences they had in the first few episodes with Hina. So they went to the ramen shop, they played Mahjong, and they fucking did, I don't know, whatever, like mentioned a festival, some other bullshit. But basically it was all Suzuki's way of saying, hey, you need, like, I know where Hina is, or something like that. And eventually Yoda figures it out only after having it fucking revealed to him, like, hey, I'm a... after Suzuki's like, wow, you're the dumbest motherfucker. And
when he's just like, God, you're such a fucking idiot, I'm going back to California. And I was just like,
I'm going to California.
Like, fair enough.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, dude, I understand, bro. So yeah, only after being yelled at for being a fucking idiot does Yoda figure it out. And then we don't see it, thankfully, but Yoda has everything explained to him, and then Yoda goes to the hospital to find Hina, and basically spends episodes 10, 11, and part of 12 basically trying to re-bond with Hina, because she had the computer chip taken out, of course, because it was too powerful to be kept in the public or whatever, even though it wasn't really affecting anything. It was just fucking there. But yeah, so because Hina's had the supercomputer taken out, she's like, she doesn't really remember anything. She can't really be communicated with efficiently. She's very hard to get through to, and she doesn't really even recognize Yoda when he comes back at first. So he kind of he spends those next few episodes trying to trust her. He uses video games. Actually, the one thing I really like is there's a shot of the video game console is the last shot of the opening of the show.
Yeah.
So he uses basically that. He kind of figures it, like, he kind of tries a bunch of shit, and it doesn't work to get through to Hina. He has this fake identity as a researcher or some bullshit that Suzuki got for him. So that's how he's able to get into the fancy ass hospital. But basically he's like, all right, after a bunch of shit, like trying to get through to her with sheer force doesn't work. He's like, all right, let's play video games together. And obviously she's bad, because she's like has this brain disease, but she gets it eventually, and then basically he does some more shit to get through to her, but he's kind of a cunt. He's kind of being an asshole the entire time he's there, especially to the lady taking care of Hina, who like puts her fucking heart and soul into treating Hina and helping educate her and helping her grow. He's definitely an asshole in these last few episodes.
See, the thing is, he never thought ahead. Like, so that's the thing. Even though,
he let his emotions control him.
Yeah, he's probably never had to deal with a sick kid before, but when you're told, don't speak loudly, be calm and resentful, and like, keep a calm manner with her, and when she gets to look you in the eye, she'll be alright. And then when she, like, presses forward on the analog stick, runs into a rock, and he's yelling at her,
yes,
being like, "Oh, you need to go the other way. You need to go the other way." I'm just like,
are you fucking dumb, bro? Like, you literally are stupid.
Moron! Like, what did they just tell you? I just want to whack him in the fucking head.
He's like he says he understands every time he gets warned about that, and then he just does it like a minute later or less. It's like, you are so stupid. It's making me upset. Like, literally, it's like he doesn't understand that she has. And hopefully, he was told that Hina actually has some kind of disease, and I think he was actually by her father, that she has this disease, and it's like he doesn't understand that she can't really communicate effectively anymore. Like, he figures it out eventually, but like it
took him ages.
Right. He goes in at first. He's like, "It's me, Yota. Don't you remember me? We had so many fun experiences together." I'm like, oh my god, shut the fuck up.
No, see, at the very, very start, because he didn't get the full situation, and because like when he first saw her, I kind of get it then. But then after that first reaction she had, then you would think it would click in his head and be like, okay, I have to approach this much, much differently now. Yeah. And the idea with the video games and all that was a good idea, but then the way he kept overreacting and trying to grab her, like, that was fucking moron.
Yeah,
that was
so
that was
stupid.
Fucking infuriating. Like, you saw the way she reacted the first time. Why would you continue this? It was just like, God, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Like, I know you love her and everything, but cunt, it's so different now.
Yeah, so different. It's like he doesn't figure it out until like, what, 2 or 3 days in, like, fucking stupid ass bitch. But basically, in the end, it's episode 12. He's kind of got through to her. She knows the names of all her friends from the previous episodes, and we're at the point where she's being sent away to a hospital, probably in America or something. I don't know where it was, but she's being sent away to a foreign hospital, so they won't be able to see her again. And obviously that makes Yota upset because he loves her for some reason. And eventually when Yota's going away and she has to like make the choice, like, does she want to stay at the hospital or does she want to go with Yota? She decides to go with Yota. She's like, starts crying, but it's all fucking kind of gibberish because she can't really speak properly. And then they let Hina go free with Yota, and then at the very end, Yota's like, I now have purpose and direction in my life. I'm going to go to school to study this disease and find a cure like the brilliant researcher guy. Yeehaw, we're all friends. Woohoo! That's how it ends, basically. But, I mean, it is heartwarming to an extent. I think there's, because again, it kind of feels grounded, like there's actually a person out there like this that exists, like someone who was like just an ordinary kid and found direction in their life thanks to like some random person coming into their lives or something like that. They found someone they truly loved, even though that's a child in this case, and now they want to, do some fucking scientific ass research and look deeper into this disease so they can find a cure for it. Like, being inspired by someone like that, like, because it is, applicable to real life. Like, there's so many people who are diseased who are like way stronger than we'll ever be, because they are dealing with this disease and, this shit that could like potentially kill you at some point. Like, there's a lot of like realism to that feeling. I think it's just the fact that moment it was a bit rushed. Like, the very ending was a little bit rushed in my opinion, and the fact that everything before that was just Yota being like, oh my god, I didn't understand her feelings, and then him being a cunt the whole time in the hospital. Like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, it kind of ruined that moment for me a little bit. I didn't really like the ending. Not like the ending, I mean, like, the, everything up until that. Like, it felt kind of forced, especially when, like, Yota had made a bunch of phone calls and shit to all his friends, like, we need you to bring Hina back. You have to do it. You're the man, Yota. And he's like, you're right. I am the man. He just fucking does this other bullshit. I don't know. It's touchy. It was like very delicate, and I don't think they handled it quite as well as they could have, especially with like his attitude and like how he basically, I don't know, like how he acted the last bit. Oh, and by the way, they were forcing, I missed this, but they forced Yoda to leave because his secret identity was busted. So they were like, you got to get out. But they gave Hina the chance to leave with him, and she did. But obviously she was confined in a wheelchair and shit, but that's how it is.
I know. I was so expecting just some massive, crazy, dumb idea. Like, I expected the most stupidest shit. Like, I expected him to fucking pick her up and run, or something really dramatic and stupid like that. I was so expecting something dumb like that to happen, because he was just like, he was being pushed to the edge. Hold on a sec. Yo. Yeah? Hold on, I haven't got a fly spray, hold on. I'll kill it, hold on. I did. Yeah, okay, well, yeah, hold on. Back in just a sec, hold on.
Okay, but basically, right, that whole twist, it definitely could have been a lot worse, in my opinion. I think, like, because of the whole grounded direction of this show, I think the whole twist of Hina having that disease, like, that twist, like, the actual idea of the, like, what the twist would have been, I think it could have been a lot worse than it was, and handled a lot worse than it was. It was just the main character. He was really the only one being a cunt. Yota, it seemed, I don't know, I wasn't in there with the emotion, because I know he was emotionally driven. There are a lot of people out there who are emotionally driven. I'm not really. I'm much more logical. So to me, it was like Yota coming in, barging into this hospital basically, and being like, let me see her, and you know, he was almost trying, it felt like he was trying to deny her the treatment that she needed to, like, learn and grow, when he was just like, all right, let's play video games because I want to, and I love you, and even though you don't remember that I love you, you're gonna remember that I love you because I love you. Like, that's what it felt like to me. Like, that much bullshit shoving it down your throat kind of thing. It like shoving that emotional feeling down your throat, and I wasn't feeling it. I was not on board with the emotions there. But I'm, again, not really that much of an emotional person. I felt way more emotion in the fucking mom episode than I did with that. Like, because it felt like, because this, it didn't really help that the show was so fucking short. It felt like him forcing that shit down our throats, because, like, you remember all the experiences we had together? We're basically lovers and shit now. And it was like he was forcing it down our throats, when really they only had, like, I don't know, to us viewers, it was like maybe 2 hours worth of experiences, maybe a little more than that, 2.5 hours. It felt like so forced.
The jump from, like, I really want you to stick around because we're having a lot of fun, to I love you. You're right. It was just very big and very, like, unnecessary almost.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they could have gone with a better angle with, like, because they his parents lied and said, oh, she's a family member. I feel like they could have kept that going and kept being like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to treat you like my sister Sora. I'm going to treat you like a sister because I love having you around. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And also, you're a kid.
Also, you're literally 11.
No, and he was literally in love with Izanami. And Izanami...
He's like fucking awesome.
I know, she was awesome when he was able to fix that shit between her and her father, and it looked like Izanami was, like, actually starting to fall for him. It was just like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah, and he just turns to this, like, 12-year-old kid, like, oh my god, dude, you're gonna leave Izanami to go date some other bitch? Like, oh my god, come on, bro. Like, huge missed opportunity. What the fuck?
It was, but look. I'm not gonna lie though. Sorry, I had to pop out for a sec. I'm not gonna.
Also,
lie,
he should have slept with Tengen. Should have done it. I was pissed at the end.
I actually wrote at the end of that in my notes at the end of that episode. Does Tengen realize she's trying to seduce a minor? And it's just like, wait a minute, is this what the fuck's happening? And then there was that whole thing where it was just like, am I going to do it? And then he just sees a staircase up to an R18 sign, and he's just like, am I going to do it? And then he's just like, no, I like Izanami, I can't do it. And then it's just
and
like,
then he doesn't like Izanami. Fucking bullshit.
I know. I don't know what you said about the ending, but the ending for me, see, I appreciate Emo Kid actually helping into this point, because Emo Kid came to regret handing Hina over.
Yeah.
Which I do appreciate that, because Hina, he realized Hina's just a kid, and he didn't want her to die. And luckily she didn't die, so he just wanted to help her. Which, you know what, that's good character development.
Yeah,
at that point in time, I gained a bit of respect for Emo Guy, even though up until then he was crazy Emo Guy. The whole thing with the hospital, there were many points where, because Yota was being such a cunt, and the other lady was able to talk to her, like to actually talk to Hina, because she didn't want to talk to anyone.
Yeah.
But the other lady was actually able to talk to her, that it kind of made me go, dude, you should probably leave it. You should probably just let it
Yeah,
go.
no, what I mentioned while you were gone is, like, it felt like he was being so overly emotionally driven that he was trying, like, selfishly trying to deny her the treatment that she needed to, like, learn and grow. You know, like, he was trying to, like, take up her time because of his own selfish bullshit reason. Like, we spent so much time together. It's like, all right, enough of you learning the alphabet. Fuck you. Let's play video games. You know, like, that's what it felt like. And, you know, the whole shoving down our throats of, like, we had so much fun together. We're best friends. Like, I love you.
Like, I thought
really forced.
I thought the phone calls with friends and all that was enough of a reason to, like, keep the drive going, but he did he did force a lot of it. You're right. He was very just like, oh my god, do you remember this? Do you remember this? And some of that got through to her. The drawings of everyone, I thought it was kind of weird but kind of sweet, and luckily that's what turned her around in the end. But it was kind of like, there were so many points where it was just like, dude. And luckily he realized at the end, until she changed her mind, he was going to give up. Luckily, like, because he was found, he was had. And luckily, and then when she started saying everyone's names, but continuously flicked away Yoda's card, like, that was just like, oh my god, it's working. And it kept building and building from there, and I was just like, oh shit, it's happening. Wait, is it happening? And then she got upset with Yoda again. I'm like, damn it, you asshole, what have you done? But that ending okay, I'm not gonna lie, this nearly made me cry. The ending realization that she kept flicking away Yoda's card because Yoda was already there. And then she kept yelling his name because he was missing. That hit me. I was just like, oh my god, that's so sweet. Like, I was just like, oh, that is so sweet. He's missing. Oh, go get him. And I was just like, that is so sad. I really, like, that hit me different. I was just like, that is sad. Because, like, it's gonna be so dumb, but it reminds me of my niece in a way. Like, whenever my niece comes over and say me or my sister isn't here, she'll always say, like, oh, where's Trent? Where's Beck? Like, because someone's missing. Someone's not here. And it was just like, oh, that was so sweet. And then, I will admit, considering she was bedridden the entire fucking time, why would the lady fucking carry her out the hospital to wave bye-bye? That's a bit retarded. Like, honestly, she was bedridden and unable to walk this entire time. What are you thinking? So, that was dumb. But
but then she started walking to see Yoda. Oh my god! I'm gonna cry. Wah.
But like,
you get the idea.
Yeah, no. Then the whole, like, last episode. So okay, I thought there was gonna be another twist, even though it was the last episode, because I thought that the supercomputer chip was the thing that was keeping her alive.
Mm-hmm.
Either I misunderstood something, because it sounds like she only got that recently even, but I must have misunderstood something, because I thought the chip's gone, the disease is affecting her more, oh wait, no, they cut her hair so they could get the chip out of her head. Yep. Okay, maybe it's not the same. But I thought in the final episode when she was in the wheelchair, that bit when they were watching the movie that Sora made, and then she was just then Hina was just kind of unconscious, leaning against Yota. I thought she was dead. I just thought they're gonna straight up kill her, because isn't the disease gonna fuck her up more now? I thought she was gonna die, and luckily she never did. Thank fuck for that. And
yeah,
his ambitions now of wanting to try and find a cure for the disease by becoming a scientist or whatever to try and help her. I mean, okay, fair enough. Do what you gotta do, man. But stop being weird about it, because she's still a child. So yeah, just stop being weird. Treat her more like a family member than anything else, I reckon.
Yeah. But meanwhile, you can go fuck Izanami.
Yeah, exactly. Go. Izanami cares about you. There you go. And I love that bit though at the end of episode 5 when 6 even, when Izanami is just like, "You helped so much, Yota. Is there anything I can do for you?"
Yeah, you could
and
fucking
then he's just
blow
like,
me.
And then it cuts and he's just like, "I failed. I didn't say it." It's just like, you dumb cunt.
Exactly.
That would have been cheating, considering she just had this giant emotional development. It would have, yeah, fair enough, but still, it was just kind of like, guys.
Such a wasted opportunity. So many wasted opportunities for Izanami.
Episode 2, when they kept trying to make them go out or whatever by the movie scenes, and then there was that third bit at the end with Yota, his dad, and Ashira.
Those were funny. The movie scenes, those were funny.
It was, and then afterwards when she leaves and the 3 dudes are just screaming in a circle.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh my god. Even Yoda's father is just like, yeah, this is fun.
Dude, Yoda's dad is so epic. I love that guy.
See, that's the thing.
He's my favorite.
Was genuinely surprised. All the characters were good. Even Emo Kid's fucking suit guy. He had a lot of personality, despite being a henchman. And it's just like, wow. Every character feels more realistic. And that's why, I feel like Jun Maeda, after Angel Beats and after Charlotte, he has started to realize what aspects of his stories people appreciate more and what he needs to do to make a better story. And I feel like this one does trump Angel Beats and Charlotte.
Yeah.
But only because it feels more grounded and because the twist wasn't as out of place and out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Because, in Charlotte, building collapses, sister's dead, main character's emo. That came out of fucking nowhere. But meanwhile here, they were dropping hints. 30 days till the end of the world. His parents know something's up. We're learning a bit more about her over time, and she does actually have parents, despite not saying she does. And then the whole thing about how... I kind of got it a few episodes before it happened, but the whole thing about how 30 days to the end of the world, it's not actually the end of the world, it's the end of Hina.
Yeah.
When that happened, because supercomputer bullshit, I started to come to realize that, and I'm like, oh no, something's gonna happen to her. And then, yeah. That's the thing, that's the other thing. Again, they got the supercomputer out of her head, and then the CEO and the others just fucked off. That wasn't an extra plot, which I thought it was gonna be, but I guess it had no real tie-in to the whole rescue Hina thing, because they weren't with her. They literally just got the chip out of her head and then sent her to the hospital.
The lesson you take from that is that you cannot fuck with big business. Don't fuck with big business. That's it.
Do not fuck
You're literally
business.
a 17-year-old kid, dude. Go fucking get a part-time job at McDonald's or something. Do something with your life.
So, yeah, no,
And he does by the end. Woohoo!
Well done. But, yeah, no, that ending shot of, like, him pushing her in the wheelchair so reminded me of the end photo of Charlotte when Niall was pushing the guy in the wheelchair. And it was like, what is it with Jun Maeda and making people disabled? Like, it's just
I don't know. There's something
like,
I don't know. There's something like extra emotional about something extra emotional about like people who can push through their their fucking lame ass, their fucking horrible hand that God dealt them or whatever at birth. Like something extra emotional about that. It like just people. Because, like I mentioned, those like genuinely in real life, like those people who are disabled and have diseases are like they're fucking awesome. Like it may be hard for people who are more logical to like kind of feel for them, to like understand what they're going through and even to a certain extent like communicate with them effectively. But like there's like a lot of realism to that. Like again, it's like grounded in relatability and reality. Like there are a lot of people out there who are gonna watch this show that can relate to having someone they really care about like affected by like something they couldn't control like that. So like, and affected heavily, I mean. So I think that's what makes this one probably like sitting pretty at the top of his three shows. Like it's just really like, I think objectively, even though I wasn't a huge fan myself, I think just objectively, especially if you're an emotional person, you'll definitely feel this. Like it's a very solid like ending, and the direction was good. Like the direction was right. It was just they handled the main character kind of poorly in those last few episodes, but that's about it. Like it felt like a shame because the dialogue and character writing up until this point was fucking awesome. So it kind of felt like a waste and like off-putting to see the main character acting like such a dumbass. Especially since it got to the point where like it's understandable once or twice, but like it got to the point where it's just absolutely infuriating. Like he was just, no matter how many times they had to remind him to like stay quiet or she'll freak out, and he's just like, you're gonna hit the wall. Like, dude, shut the fuck up, you absolute moron. It was so bad. It was really hard to watch.
It was, but
other than that,
the storytelling overall, aside from that, was pretty good. I like the subtle hints. I like the meeting up with the family, and I like the fact everyone was civil about everything. Yeah. I like the even like the ending, the like after movie bit with Hina doing that little sit-down interview about how she appreciates the time she's had with everyone. Yeah. Like, that was very sweet. And then, like, a lot of things ended up being, like, really good, good for the characters. Because, like, all the characters had all their own, like, positives to them. And, like, Ashira and Yoda being proper bros. Like Sora being like a little sister that wants to help with everything and wants to help Ramen Lady, and then Ramen Lady kind of repaying her debt. Tengen, despite the fact she flirted with a minor, is being helpful in the end. Good on you. Please go see Chris Hansen immediately. And the parents were fine. Like, I'm sure with everyone think
the dad is poggers.
The dad is poggers. He is poggers. I'm sure a lot of people would agree that he and his parents were a bit dicks, but I mean,
I think it was her dad and her mom. Like, he was either dead or like something. I don't know. But her mom wasn't there because the dad was remarried.
Yes, but you could almost kind of understand to an extent, but you still would be like, if I was a father, I would help. I would stay there for my daughter. I wouldn't abandon them. But it's like, it's hard to imagine what they would have gone through. But
yeah, and I think the dad actually mentions that, like, you don't know what it was like to feel like that, and then he also says maybe you'll deal with this someday too, but I think the difference is that in the end Yoda actually manages to get through to her or whatever, manages to help her in some way, or at least the idea is that he will help her in the future when he becomes a scientist or whatever. But yeah, it is hard for us who are not fathers of diseased children to imagine what that feeling would be like. So yeah,
and like, I don't know, it was see, from here though, like, that's the thing, Jun Maeda as well, all of the series that he's done, none of them have got sequels. I'm pretty sure some of them have had manga adaptations from the anime or something like that, or like some other extra bit of material. I know Charlotte got an OVA. I don't know about Angel Beats. From here, though,
if it does,
like,
I don't want to see it.
See, that's the thing. It did kind of, in a roundabout way, get a nice ending.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time, with shows like these, I kind of want to know what happens afterwards. And
sure, yeah,
it's like a weird conditioning thing. I need to like get out of this, because like I know for a long time that anime doesn't always get made, and like depending on who's working on it, like who knows what's going to happen. Because after the disappointment of High School of the Dead being promised a season 2 and never got it because the creator died, that kind of disappointed me. But like, now that they've got her back, he's gonna study and become a scientist.
Yeah.
Can we just assume that he's done that?
Yeah,
Are we ever gonna see the OG Hina again? Like, God, like she thinks she's a God Hina again? Are we ever gonna see that again?
You know what? I think in this specific case, I think this was a really like solid ending, because it basically like kind of assures you that he will do that, but we don't actually know for sure. But I think that's what we're meant to assume, and I don't think we're going to get a continuation from this, because I think that was a really like good ending, like a really good way to end it, even though it's different. Like, you know, it's not the same Hino we started off with. I think it's like a good way to round it out and show, because I think the overall idea was, because, I mean, if you asked me to sum up the story, like, you know, we're going to do an episode about 60-second anime reviews. If you asked me to sum up this story in a minimal amount of time, I would tell you that The Day I Became a God is the story about an ordinary kid who has no direction in his life, finds purpose in his life through meeting a strange girl. Like, that's what I would tell you is the story of this anime. And I think that's what we're meant to take from it, is that we're supposed to be like, hey, here's an ordinary kid who just happened to meet this crazy girl, and now all of a sudden has purpose and determination to get to where he wants to be, and there's a direction he wants to go with his life and something he really wants to do. And that's what I think we're supposed to take away from it. Like, not necessarily the whatever happens next, just that he is now someone with a purpose. I don't know. That's kind of how I interpret it. Yeah.
No, and on top of that as well, there was another bit that Yoda kept harping on about the summer and those memories.
Yeah, of course he did.
And he harped on about it quite a lot. And before he realized Emo Kid knew about Hina, he got to the point where he was just like, I quoted it because it hit different, and I know I keep saying that, but it hit different. I even wrote the note, Gus, you warned me about the hospital. I was just like, you fucking
I did.
warned me about the hospital, bro. Yeah, the quote was like, would we grow further and further from those days and just forget them? Because he cherished those memories with her, that time with her, so much that he didn't want to forget them, which, like, a lot of people are at fault for doing. They cherish something so much that they refuse to move on, even though you kind of need to.
Yeah.
And even I'm at fault for that. I'm stuck in the past about a lot of things. I mean, fucking hell, but it's like kind of it's kind of like a message that, like, yes, cherish those memories, but don't be afraid of what's to come. If you've lost someone, then cherish that time you had with them. That's why you gotta make every moment every moment you have something worth remembering or something worth keeping in your head. Like, don't waste your fucking time. Do stuff that has meaning, almost. Like,
yeah,
in a sense, that's kind of what it's saying, but
definitely
that's what I feel like. But
yeah, and that's the thing. Like, the issue I had with it was, like, I don't know, we didn't get to see, I don't know if there was more experiences, but just by the amount of experiences that we saw, it felt like really shoving down our throats this, like, we had the best summer ever together, or whatever, like, because there wasn't actually that much there, like, that much actual content. Like, it was, like, what, 5 days or something? 6 days? Like, there wasn't a whole lot going on. It felt really forced at the end.
Like, most episodes did, like, 4 or 3 day time skips, but in between the whole, Mahjong tournament, studying for exams, all this shit, what, you can just assume they fucking played video games that whole time. Like, it's like their summer wasn't, like, it was unique, certainly. Like, they helped a ramen lady get a business back together, they cheated their way into a fucking Mahjong tournament, and, like, they played basketball and went to a fucking festival. Like, whoa, best summer ever! Like, not really.
Whoa!
Like, it was a good, like, you made a new friend who was able to predict some stuff, but
good for you, buddy.
Like, was about it. And you're right, he did shove that down quite a lot, but, like, I'm guessing to him it was the best summer because he hasn't had anything that
that's like kind of what I mentioned, like, the ordinary kid thing who doesn't really do anything special. That's because I think that's what we're supposed to take from it. I didn't really get that, but it's fine.
We're getting close to the end, but let's talk about a few other things, like small things as well. Sure. I want to mention as well Ashura, the bloke. Ashura, the bloke.
Yeah.
When out of nowhere they mentioned the injury he had.
Yeah.
How he was hit by a fucking car and his legs were broken, and they said he was never going to play basketball again. Yeah. Like, that, like, as well, like, I thought he was a cool dude before then, but then seeing how he persevered through that, that was sick. Like, good on the guy.
Exactly.
Fucking, like,
I definitely feel like they could have done more with the whole basketball backstory thing. I think they could have done more with that. But...
Definitely. And this anime was fucking gorgeous all the way through.
Oh, yeah.
Even
pretty.
Like, the simple animation in Yoda's room of the ball and the basketball shoes displayed on the wall and the TV and the console and, like, the scenery.
Yeah, they were
like,
playing Genshin Impact on that TV.
Something like that. They were playing something. I don't know if it was exactly Genshin Impact, but it was something like that.
No, it wasn't, but it kind of looked like it.
Yeah, and, like...
generic 3D RPG.
Exactly. And it was fucking gorgeous. And, of course... Jun Maeda, I'm pretty sure he writes most of the music for his shows.
The music is so good.
The music was amazing.
The opening especially is gorgeous. I mean, the ending's great too, but the end, like, the opening, is such a beautiful song.
It was. And then, like, all the piano tunes in the middle, and then, like, a lot of other stuff during the show. It was so fucking good.
Dude. If Yoda's not going to take Izanami, I'm going to take her because she can play piano, and that's hot.
That episode 2, when, like, they were trying to figure out how to get him with Izanami, and then the only time she smiled was after playing the piano. That was nice. That was nice. Mm-hmm. But then they actually found out, like, oh, shit's fucked. By the way, Izanami's dad, that episode, like, I understood his trauma almost, like his hesitance to go outside because he didn't, like, I understand.
It did kind of feel like he was overreacting.
Well, I mean, there.
Because, like, what, he hadn't been outside in, like, 10 years?
No,
He needs to figure it out.
I mean, just something very quick and brief, personal wise. Very, like, years and years ago, an old friend of mine, her father passed away, and I was very close with their family, and I saw her mother. She didn't want to leave the home, like, their house for, like, a month. I saw the way she was wrecked and just laying on the couch, not wanting to do anything. Like, losing someone that close to you, it does wreck you.
Yeah.
Although, yes, I think you're right. In the anime, it was kind of like he refused to move on almost for 10 years, which is such a big...
That's a long-ass time.
It's a long-ass time.
That's like half our lives.
I know, it's very, very, like, fucking intense, but the thing that probably kept him there was those videotapes or one of the messages that he refused to finish, because he had whatever memories he had there and refused to let them go. And that, like, he refused to move on because he had something to hold on to. And that was probably what kept him going for that long in that state. But, anyway, the reason I brought this up is because I thought it was really funny when they kept doing restaurant hopping, and he just wanted a fuck ton of stuff with cheese, and that was just like, it's all cheese. Like, that was fucking great.
Yeah,
like, that's what
and
I wanted to get at.
he was just there eating it all with him. That was funny.
That was good, but yeah, and that ending for that episode, when they finally watched that last tape, like, oh my god, just that was so, like, hug them, help them move on, and fucking let's do this. And then Izanami after that, like, even it was so funny. Directly after that is the festival episode, and Izanami was wearing a yakuda. What are they called? Those fucking Japanese.
Yeah, I want to say it's a yakuda. I don't know how you would say it in English.
Neither, but yeah, she was wearing one of those Japanese formal dresses that they wear to festivals, and
that all the Japanese guys freak out over.
Yeah, I know. And then Yoda was being like a fucking weirdo, complimenting her, but she said thank you, and she accepted the compliment genuinely. Exactly. And it was just like, this is heartwarming. Like,
he might as well have said, "I like your boobs," and she would have been like, "Okay, that's nice."
But yeah, and then, like, you could see immediately, like, now that Izanami had rekindled her relationship with her dad, just how much, and because Yoda was able to make all this happen with his, like, fantasy phone call from the underworld, which I still don't know how they were able to pull that off. That was a bit, that was weird, but they were able to pull that off. But then
it was because Hina was imitating the voice.
She was very good at imitating that.
Yeah, I'm not sure how she does that, but it's fine. She's
a god. She has a microchip in her head. Elon Musk. Anyway, fucking no. But then immediately, like, she started to, like, she was still reserved, she was still quiet, but then over the course of the festival, she was starting to show more interest in things. And then, like, when she got, like, snow cones or whatever they were for her and Yoda, and they sat together talking, and then, like, she was starting to come out a little bit more because she was feeling more confident and happy about stuff. It was so fucking nice to see, and you felt happy for her. And
then
you thought, like, yeah, they're finally getting together. Woo!
And then they just don't.
Then they don't. See, the thing that got me also, I knew shit was gonna go south because Hina started getting jealous that those two were getting closer.
Then it was like, oh no.
It's just like, damn it. Is there gonna be a love triangle? Is there gonna be some shit? But she's dying. But like, the world's ending, isn't it? What's gonna happen? And then they went and saved her from a truck. But, like, and as well, okay, another tidbit What is it with Jun Maeda and making the main characters have sister complexes?
I think it's because he has a sister complex.
Maybe.
It's gotta be it.
They didn't really, like, explicitly say it till episode 7, because they did very early on in Charlotte. They're just like, dude, what is this thing you have for your sister? It's weird. But then in, like, episode 7, when Yoda kept, like, complimenting Sora for whatever reason, and then Hina was just like, so you have a sister complex. And it's just like, what is this? Why? Is there ever a normal brother-sister relationship in these fucking shows? Like, why does everyone need to have a sister complex? Ugh.
I don't know, dude, but
I don't like it.
Nah, whatever, man. Poor Izanami, dude. I was just thinking about, like, how the main characters in these shows always just... Well, except for Charlotte, I guess. They always pick the wrong girls. You know? Like, this guy picked Hina when he probably should have picked Izanami. And then in Angel Beats, the main... I totally forget his name. But the main guy picked the angel over the main girl, who I also forget her name. But he was like, I love you, Angel. Let's stay in the underworld forever. And they was like, no, bitch. Yeah. Oh, wait. No, there totally is an Angel Beats OVA. I had a brain blast. There is an Angel Beats OVA. Like, covers a separate ending. Like, an alternate ending. It's weird, though. Let's stay in the underworld forever. I'm like, shut the fuck up, you moron.
God fucking damn it. With that knowledge now, I definitely feel like there's going to be an OVA for the day I became a god. It's probably going to be, like, something in the middle of the 30 days to do some other side story. I don't know.
It's going to be where Yota becomes an actual god and starts, I don't know, fireballing people for no reason or something. I don't know.
Imagine if the OVA is just like a time lapse of them growing up and he actually becomes a scientist in Kyoto. That would be great.
Maybe in the OVA, Yota gets fucking piss drunk and pees on somebody. That's it.
What?
That's the whole OVA.
It took me a second to click with what you just fucking said, and I was like, wait a minute, what?
That's the whole thing. That's 20 minutes of content right there.
That's 20 minutes of content. Yota gets drunk for the first time and pisses
pees on somebody in public. Specifically. From the top of a tree.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Predictions for the OVA, official prediction. If I'm wrong, then all of you owe me $5.
If you're wrong,
if I'm right, then I owe all of you $5.
Oh, sure.
As an apology for being right.
If it's at any point peeing in the OVA, you have to owe people $5. Oh, fuck.
No, he has to pee on somebody.
Specifically on someone?
Oh, yeah.
Fuck.
There you go. I think we can end on that note. I think we've covered everything.
Yeah, so, yeah, as a summary, yeah, not Charlotte. The Day I Became a God is just, in my opinion, a more wholesome Charlotte. It was more grounded, down to earth, animation was beautiful, music was beautiful all around, the opening and endings was gorgeous. The story was a nice slice of life affair, it was what you wanted, and then it hit a lot of emotional beats without the typical anime tropes of, like, overreacting evil cunt, apart from the emo guy's backstory. A lot of it was grounded and down to earth a lot more, with Hina's parents and Yoda's parents and their backstories, and everything just felt a bit more genuine and, like, paced well, and even the time in the hospital, even though Yoda was being a dick, it hit different at the end when, like, for me at least, when Hina didn't want Yoda to leave because he was missing in her mind, because she had everyone else there via the cards, but Yoda was no longer there because he was leaving. That genuinely was a bit heartbreaking, and I am happy with the ending, because I would have been happy either way. Like, when he was leaving, I kind of got the impression there was going to be something like, he leaves, she grows up, and they meet up in the future, and she remembers him, or something like that. I was expecting something like that to happen, but no. In the end, they get to be together. She cares a lot about Yoda. Yoda weirdly cares a lot about her, even though she's a child, but it's wholesome. And I am very happy with the ending, and definitely prefer it to Charlotte and Angel Beats. Despite the fact Charlotte was funnier, doesn't matter. All the characters really well written, and there's nothing really entirely wrong with it. It was a Jun Maeda story, and I enjoy the ride. So, there you go.
It was good. That's it. That's the whole thing. It was good.
It was good.
It was good. Angel Beats, I mean, you know what? It wasn't Angel Beats, because the ending of Angel Beats made me want to, like, jump out of a window. So.
Fair enough. Yeah. Actually, one last bit. There was a massive prank in episode 11. Remember the phone calls bit where Yoda was calling everyone?
Yeah.
And he called Izanami. And then Izanami said, it was like a prank almost. She said, "I love you." Yeah. And then there was a pause. And then she said, "I love you and Hina together." And I was just like, oh! You son of a bitch. You fucking nearly did that. You nearly fucking did that. And I was just like losing my shit. Like, oh.
God damn it.
Damn, boy. But,
ugh.
Yeah. Anyway, there you go. There's our review of the day I became a god. So, do us a favor, Gus, and hit the outro.
Oh shit, it's outro time. Thank you guys for listening and tuning in to this episode of the FireStorm Podcast. If you want to follow us, you can on Twitter at FireStorm Pod for a plethora of dick jokes and song parodies that will never actually be made, and announcements when our new episodes come out. We have some more Twilight. I knocked the pop filter by accident. We have more Twilight Princess head your way soon, and we're going to be moving on to Skyward Sword once that's done. So follow our Twitter at FireStorm Pod, and if you want to follow us individually, you can also do that. For me at Silverstorm100 and Trent at TrentJM27. And if you want to ask us questions or leave us suggestions about or for future episode ideas or what have you, maybe we'll do a Q&A at some point, who knows, you can leave them in the comments, or you can email us at firestormproductions2@gmail.com. That's it, I think. Okay.
If you have any anime that you reckon we should check out for a review type format like this, let us know as well. Because
yes,
the whole reason we did The Day I Became a God is because of our interest in Charlotte, and it being announced like essentially as we were uploading our episode of Charlotte, uploading the Charlotte episode. So we kind of just like, you know what, we'll do this as well because we're both familiar with Jun Maeda's work and. Yeah, we are more than happy to explore different anime. We're going to be doing ReZero Season 2 Part 2 when that comes out.
Oh, it's been so good so far.
It's already been 2 episodes so far, and it's been fucking amazing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let us know if you want any anime for us to review. We might be doing some album reviews as well, again, for a few things that might be coming out soon. And, yeah, talk to us, let us know what you want, and we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, we're gonna watch some shit, we're gonna listen to some shit, and we're gonna play some shit, and that's how it's gonna go. And we're going to take a shit eventually.
I actually need to do that, so let's go.
Yeah, let's go. All right. Thank you guys, and goodbye.
Goodbye.
You know what? It's been too long since I've said this.